Hi, I am Kathy Baker, and over the next few weeks, I'm going to be teaching a series called Parent2Parent, and I'm going to be focusing on job descriptions of both parents and children. We're going to look at how you can fulfill your job description as parents by using 4 C's, and here they are: conscience, correction, consequences, and currency. And today we're going to begin by looking at what your job description is as a parent and what your child's job description is. We find that in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verses 1 through 4. So listen for some key words here that are going to give you some cues, some clues about what the job descriptions are. First of all, children, obey your parents because you belong to the Lord, for this is the right thing to do. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise. If you honor your father and mother, things will go well for you, and you will have a long life on the earth. And then the next part of this is addressed to parents. So listen for your job description. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them. Rather, bring them up with the discipline and instruction that comes from the Lord. Now, in that passage, we find the job description of both children and of parents. So I want to address that in just a minute and look at specific responsibilities on the part of both parents and children. But first of all, let's look at your overall picture as being a parent and being a Christian parent. Your role is to give your children the deep spiritual roots so that as they grow, that they will be so deeply embedded with the roots of your faith and with good discipline and good instruction, so that when they're older, that they will be able to make wise decisions. Think of your job as being the guardian of the guardrails of their faith journey. See, you keep them between the rails. You give them those boundaries in which to live. Now, child's faith development begins in infancy. So when you bring that baby home from the hospital and you begin to hold that baby and snuggle with that baby, you're helping that child to develop faith because you're building trust with that child. And faith is built on trust. And so the primary caregiver for children will be the one who will help, most importantly, to shape the faith development of that child. You see, a child in the infant stage clings to you for everything. And so they are developing trust in you. I want us to think about faith development by thinking of circles. And so as you have that infant, that circle between you and that baby is really close because they are so dependent on you for everything. And then as the child grows, that circle becomes larger and larger as their circle of influence grows. And your role is to keep those children tethered to you as they begin to grow. And you, while you are keeping them tethered to you, you are teaching them faith development. You're instructing. You are teaching them scripture. You're reading the stories of the Bible. You're teaching them how to pray. You're teaching them to honor you and to obey you. And you're doing this with instruction and guidance that comes from the Lord. And so your job is to help train up your children so that when they grow up, they're going to do the right things. And so faith development is a huge part of your responsibility as being the guardian of their faith. You're giving them roots. So as they grow older, they will make wise choices. Well, the core of your instruction is to teach them to honor and obey you. Now, that's their job description, to honor and obey you. Look back at what the scripture in Ephesians says about your job description. You're not to provoke them. but you are to bring them up with discipline and instruction that comes from the Lord. And that means you are teaching them from Scripture about how to live. But let's look at what their description is. They are to honor and obey you. So a child learns obedience as they are learning to do the right thing, and that is to obey what you have asked them to do. And if you are using guidance and instruction from the Lord, from Scripture, then you're doing this, you're asking them in the right tone, and you're asking them the right things to do, and they are learning obedience. And as children learn honor, they're learning to think about others. Honor has to do with the attitude in which they obey. See, obedience gets the job done, but honor deals with how that job gets done. A bad attitude or whining and complaining are honor issues. Honor is often hard to teach. It means treating other people as special and doing more than is expected and having a good attitude. So let's look at examples. If you ask your child to set the table for dinner, if they obey you, that's the first part. They do what you ask them to do. They honor you in doing it with a good attitude. And that means they're not whining and complaining and stomping and flailing and screaming and wailing. They're doing it with a right attitude. And you can teach this to them. So you can teach both at the same time. Let's use this as an example. You ask your child to clean the room, and you tell them when you're asking them that this is what you want them to do, and you expect them to obey you. And then you might practice doing that by saying, I'm going to ask you to do it, and I want to see if you do it, and if you do it now. And then you're going to tell them, you will honor me in the way that you do this, by not griping and not complaining. And then you can make this portion of honor even extra special by teaching the children to do an add-on to that. For example, you might teach them that when they set the table, they might do something special for the people who will be at the table. Maybe you're celebrating a birthday, and maybe that they will honor you and the birthday person by doing something special with balloons or coloring a picture or decorating in a special way, favorite colors, picking flowers, whatever. And that will teach them that that is honor, that you're going just the extra mile. Ask your child to take the laundry to the laundry room, take their dirty clothes to the laundry room. The child will obey you by doing it when you ask him to, and then he will honor you by doing it with the right attitude. So today I'd like for you to practice with your children how to honor and obey you. And do it with knowing that your description is to do this with the instructions that come from Scripture, that you're doing it with the right attitude, that you're doing it asking them at the appropriate time, and that you are asking them to do something that they're actually able to do. Now, over the next 3 weeks, we're going to learn a little bit more about that, and I'm going to show you 4 C's that will help you to do a better job in instructing, and disciplining your children. We're going to look at those words that all begin with the letter C. Next week, we're going to look at the conscience and how you can help your child to develop a healthy conscience. And then we're going to look at how to effectively correct them when they need to, and then we're going to look at consequences for bad behavior, and we're going to connect that with finding their currency. So I hope you'll join us each Thursday. I'll be posting these on the Christ United Methodist Church website and on the Facebook page. I'll also post these in various other places, social media platforms, our Married with Children Facebook page, our Mom to Mom Facebook page, and my personal page, as well as my personal YouTube channel. I hope you'll join us, and please give your comments in the comment section about whether or not this was helpful and any suggestions that you might have. You all have a good day.